guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm sharing with you my chicken cutlet recipe. Now, this has been requested here for a long time, but if you watch our daily vlogs, which you should, I'll leave a link down below, you know that anytime my brother and my sister come over with my dad, I always make chicken cutlets because it's their favorite thing to eat, really, and it's something that every time I talk about it in our vlogs, everyone says recipe, 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 because the recipes do vary from household to household, and I want to share with you my recipe for what I call like the foolproof best chicken cutlets ever. The ingredients you'll need are few and very basic, starting off with some breadcrumbs. These are some dried breadcrumbs. You'll also need all-purpose flour, good quality Parmigiano, a little bit of milk, salt and pepper, olive oil, eggs, some chicken breast, and vegetable oil. Now, yes, I said vegetable oil and olive oil, and I'll explain that in a minute. Let's just go over the chicken first. You can go to your grocery store and wherever you buy your packaged chicken, it already have what they call chicken cutlets or chicken scallopine, which just means that it's just thinly sliced chicken breast. If you can't find it or it's too pricey, buy a couple of large chicken breasts and then just slice them thin yourself. That's it. I mean, it's really simple. You just want it to be nice and thin like this one here, because if it's too thick, then it's not going to be what you want. Growing up in Italy, I know my nonna always made chicken cutlets for us all the time, and there was always a really thin chicken breast. So that's kind of why I use that. Now, another thing that makes this so good is that I'm using a combination of mostly vegetable oil, which I don't have heating up yet, mostly vegetable oil, but also a drop or drizzle or so of olive oil in there, because the olive oil gives you really great flavor, but the vegetable oil is at a high burning temperature, so it's not going to burn as quickly as olive oil would to burn over a higher heat. So I hope that makes sense. Let's get started. The first thing I want to work on is seasoning every layer of my dish. So let's season this. All three: eggs, flour, and breadcrumbs with some salt and pepper. I'm not going to season the chicken because the chicken is going to be coated in seasoning. So there you go. Also, what I'm going to do next is add a good grating of Parmigiano in the eggs and in my breadcrumbs. Really, I would say maybe a quarter cup in both places should be good. I'm going to add just a drop of milk to my eggs. Now you notice I haven't touched the chicken yet. I always like to get my stations all ready and then I go ahead with the chicken, because once you touch chicken, really, you're going to have to wash your hands, and there's a lot of back and forth going on, and we want to get this done as quick as possible. Well, I do anyway. Mix my cheese in with my breadcrumbs. Now, if you grew up in an Italian household, chances are that you know good chicken cutlets, and you may or may not agree with this recipe, but this is how I grew up eating them, and you know, I wouldn't change it for the world, to be honest with you. It's just what we love. That's how we love our chicken cutlets. Really, the most important thing is that there's plenty of Parmigiano and it's thinly sliced chicken breast. Now, I'm going to take my chicken breast. I'm going to just dredge it in the flour really lightly. You can see I'm not coating it super thick. This just helps the egg stick to it. Pop that into the egg mixture and then coat it in to the breadcrumb. And then I've got a clean plate here that I'm going to put these on once they're all breaded. My oil is nice and hot. I had mostly vegetable oil. It's really hard to tell you how much of the oil you need. It really depends on the skillet, the size of the skillet you're using. But I use about 3 tablespoons or so of vegetable oil and like a tablespoon and a half of olive oil. Now you might need to add more oil if you're making a lot of chicken cutlets, but for me it's good. It's up to temperature. I have this between medium and medium-high heat. I don't want it too high, otherwise it'll burn my breading, and I don't want it too cold because otherwise it's going to get soaked up in all the oil, and you don't want that. I'm going to cook 2 at a time so that I don't drop the cooking temperature, and these will take, I would say, between 4 to 5 minutes or so, maybe per side. Again, it depends on the thickness of your chicken breast. I know this one will take about 4 minutes or so per side, and it'll be perfectly ready. I got a plate with paper towel on it so that it can be ready to drain off all the extra oil, and then we're ready to rock and roll. My chicken cutlets cooked for about 4 minutes on each side, and I just make sure you drain them on a paper towel lined plate. I have one on my plate ready to go, and I already started cutting into it, and then I forgot I had to show you, but the inside is like perfectly cooked. If I squeeze, you can almost see a little bit of the juice. Oops. So you can tell that it's still nice and juicy. Serve this with some lemon juice, lemon wedges, because that's how we serve them in Italy. That's how I grew up eating chicken cutlets, with a squeeze of lemon, making my mouth water. Best chicken cutlets in town. Once you make these, you understand why they're such a family favorite, and they always have been. They're easy, they are crispy on the outside, it is juicy on the inside. They're like the best of every world in the world of chicken cutlet anyway. LauraInTheKitchen.com will have you covered with the recipe. I hope you've enjoyed spending time with me. Now go make chicken cutlets for your family and let me know how you like them. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.